Hello, hello. Hey, Burns. How you doing? Hello, Eve Belize. How are you? Oh, let me turn my phone on my chat here. How are you all this evening? I hope everyone is well. I'm excited about tonight's chat. Okay. Uh-oh. Hey, Nevin. Hi, nephew. How you doing? Hey, V Loves TNN. How you doing? Good to see you. It's my sister. Hey, Life with the Sunflower Lady. Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. How's everyone doing tonight? It is open discussion tonight. I hope everyone is excited about it. I was excited not to have to prepare anything and to get to just talk and see what's going on in you all's life. How things are going. Hey, the positive pusher, how you doing? How's it going? Did y'all have a wonderful day, a good day? I saw all kinds of things going on, sir. All kinds of stuff. Oh, beautiful top. Thank you. Thank you. One of my stores is going out of business, and I just happened to be driving by. I was like, what? So I picked up a few things. Hey, Vernell Livingston. How's it going? How are you doing? Welcome. Welcome. Everyone's just greeting one another. Tonight, we are doing open forum. Last Saturday, we chit-chatted, we talked, and you all were saying, hey, y'all were asking questions, and you're like, hey, let's do open forum where we can just talk about what's going on in you all's lives and, you know, in regards to communication, your relationships, whether it's family, romantic relationship, or friends or work, whatever it is. Good. I'm glad everyone's doing good. I'm glad everyone's doing good. Good. Yeah, I had a good day. It was a beautiful, beautiful day here. The weather was absolutely perfect. It was breezy and sunny. I took my kids out and several times today. So we've been outside quite a bit today, getting some vitamin D. Hey, boss lady Denise, how you doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. Good to see you. I'm happy everyone's here. I'm so happy everyone's here. Yeah, so it was gorgeous and I just love it. I love this. Fall is my absolute favorite time of the year. October, November, December here in Texas is just absolutely beautiful. So it's just my favorite time of the year. So anytime I can be outside, those are the things that I like to be doing. Those are the things that I like to be doing. So for those of you who all may be new here or watching behind the scenes, my name is Ruth Finney. Welcome to You Can Talk. This is a channel You Can Talk. I created this channel specifically to help people struggling with communication in their relationships. I mean, who doesn't struggle with communication somewhere in some relationship that you have? And I definitely spent a lot of years, struggling, trying to figure out, how to get along better with people, how to talk to people better. And so I created this channel specifically for that, for us to have a place where we can come and talk about, get, solid information about how to work on our communication so that we can get along better in our relationships. This is a different kind of world we're living in today. And people come from different walks of life, and it can be very difficult to figure out how to talk to people and how to stay in good relationship with people, because let's be honest, we have so many people that we can be in relationship with or not. Like, we have more choices now, right? We don't necessarily have to just talk to the people that are in our immediate life. We can talk to people all over the world now, which is awesome and amazing. But we still sometimes have to learn how to get along with the people that we live with, that we work with, that we friend. And so that's what I created this channel for. And so tonight we are doing open forum. I really wanted this night to be basically like this, like open forum. But because you all, don't know me that well and are just kind of getting to know me, I was preparing lessons from week to week just so you all could kind of get to know me, what I have to offer, what I hope I can offer. And so I wanted to give you all a sense of getting to know me and who I am. And from there, but since you all are ready and asked if we could do the open forum, I'm here for you. Let's do it. I hope we can continue this where you all can talk to me, ask me questions. I'll tell you up front, I'm going to give you my experienced opinions. And through the lessons, the life lessons that I've learned, I'm not a coach, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a counselor formally. I've sat through years and years of counseling, dealing with relationships and stuff. And I had hoped to have this type of forum. I wish I had had this type of forum where I could go and have someone that I could talk to or get some sound advice from. So that's why I created this channel. Hello, the Essential Circle. How you doing? The Essential Circle? Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for thumbsing me up. If you are not a part of this talk family, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you for those who are sharing me out. I appreciate every bit of you all's time for being here tonight. And I hope that I have some good things to offer you all. That's good. I'm glad you're well. So yeah, I spent years, sitting through counseling, but like I say, I'm not a counselor or coach. I've been through a lot of things in life and experienced a lot of things in life. And I want to share those things that I've experienced and pass along the knowledge that I've learned to you all, to anyone who's interested and willing to listen to what I have to say about through the things that I have discovered and things that I've come to learn through my life. This is a ministry channel. So, you will hear me talk about God. You will hear me reference in the Bible. If that's not your thing, take what you will, leave what you don't. It won't offend me one bit. So, but I appreciate you all coming and listening, and I'm here. So let's get started. Let's get talking tonight. What's going on in you all's lives? What are you struggling with? Who is the biggest person that you struggle to communicate with in your life? Why don't you all maybe kind of tell me who's the biggest person? Is it a family member? Is it a friend? Is it a spouse? A loved one? A coworker? Tell me where you're struggling and who's the biggest person that you would like to improve your relationship with. Who is that person that you would like to improve your relationship with? You don't have to put their names in the chat. Just say how they're, what the relation is. You can tell me if it's a friend. You can tell me if it's like I say, a family member, a spouse, whatever. Let me know. We did have, if you've watched any of the lessons this week, we did talk a lot about, we talked about how to communicate fear. We talked about gossip this week. And we also talked about honesty, how we go about being honest. So if you missed any of those lessons, go back and catch those. Or if you're interested in what I had to say about it, go back and catch those. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I do class sessions on communication, the ABCs of communicating. And I just I'm going through the letters of the alphabet and picking a topic of a discussion for communication. So if you're interested in that. And then on Tuesdays, I put tips out for people to just have like a little quick something to put in their spirit to work on their communication. And on Thursdays, I usually do lessons. And on Saturday nights, I'm here doing these live sessions. So, all right. My dad, he is military and he is not a loving person. Ooh, that's a good one. He is not used to showing love, but I know he loves me. Yes. Ooh, you are right. Hey, Content. How are you, Missy? How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome in. It's open forum tonight. I hope you brought your questions or your struggles. So let me know what's going on. Let's talk about it. That I fully understand. And I'll tell you this, anything that I have personal experience with, I'm absolutely going to be able to, share with you what I've learned. And the things that I don't have experience with, I may not have any answers. I'll give you my thoughts and my opinions or what the word says or whatever. But I just want to go ahead and put that out there as well. So, all right, Burns, I absolutely grew up with a military father. Hard East Coast, New Jersey, born and raised, was not raised by his parents. He was raised by his grandmother in a very hard working life. And he grew up basically, survival of the fittest, grew up in the city core, grew up in Inglewood, and, shine shoes on the street corners from the time that he was a little boy, 7, 8 years old. So he did not grow up in a loving, nurturing, household. Everyone was just kind of surviving, making their way through life. And as soon as he got old enough, he joined the military because he wanted a better life for himself. He wanted a better life. No one was mean to him. No one abused him as far as I know. So, but it just wasn't that loving, nurturing, goo goo gaga kind of family. So he went from that to the military, which was very hardcore structured, grew up in the, what can I say? Like he's a baby boomer. So during those really hard years in life, those decades in life where people were experiencing, lots of, struggles. And so he had a very rigid, hard-nosed way of thinking about life and a zero tolerance perspective. So I understand exactly what you mean, Verns, in dealing with, hey, Miss Lovely One Rodriguez. I'm happy you caught me. Good deal. I'm happy you're here too. Okay, so and then my mother's side of the family was very, very loving. They were very Christian, spiritual people, and lots of love and hugs and kisses and, encouraging one another and all that. So I really had both worlds that I grew up with. Now, with my dad, it made it very difficult because he was also my stepfather, but he had been with me. I had been with him since I was 3, or really since I was 2. They got married right when I turned 3. And so he was my dad in all aspects of the word. And I really just refer to him as such. But it was very difficult for me growing up with him and trying to understand how he loved, because I really spent a lot of years thinking that he did not love me. Because I count the times on one hand that he said the words, I love you, or maybe 2 hands that he may have given me a hug. And so I really didn't understand how he went about loving, And he was always very commanding, had a very commanding and demanding type voice, and a zero tolerance for behavior. And so if we weren't, what do they say in the military? Like, hey, Trap Vision 3D, how you doing? Good to see you. If we weren't dressed and doing everything, our grades and all that, he wouldn't really show love. And I very much remember having periods of time where if I brought home a C or anything less than a B on my report card, he wouldn't speak to me for that entire next 6-week term. Like, it was as serious for him. So growing up that way, I felt like his love was very conditional, that he had a very conditional way of loving. And as I got older, I grew to resent that, because I felt like, hey, if you can't love me for just being me, then I don't want to love you, And so we went back and forth, struggling with that. And so it took me getting older to learn how this man showed love. I was looking for the hugs and the kisses and the I love yous when he was, providing the home, providing the clothes, providing the food. I remember Saturday mornings waking up and wanting to eat my cereal, because every Saturday morning I wake up and eat my cornflakes. And I would remember waking up sometimes and seeing him walking into the house with the milk, because he knew we didn't have milk in the house. And so he had already gotten up before I got up and went and got me some milk. But I wasn't seeing those things. I wasn't paying attention to those things, I wasn't thinking about the times that he would take me places, take me to the park or take me out of town with him to go visit friends and relatives, or bring a friend along with me, taking us to do these things. So I really had to, because he wouldn't say much, he wouldn't say much. He would just do things, So for me as a young child, it made me think, okay, well, maybe this, I don't know that he loves me. I really don't. I couldn't tell you that he did, at the time. So it took me getting older to realize how they show love. And that's what I want to say. Look, people don't always love us the way that we think that they should love us. They don't always show us love the way we think that they should show us love. And we can have a hard time accepting it when they don't show us love in the way that we want to receive it. But that doesn't mean that they don't love us. And if you are concerned, if you do wonder, ask them how they feel. Ask them what they, if they love you, but I was too young to know that and to understand that. Let's see, I'm an only child and lost my mom suddenly 4 years ago. November to February is the most difficult time for me. I can feel it getting ready to start. Yeah. I can imagine Eve believes that is a very difficult, dress right dress, trap vision. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Difficult. Yeah. So are you, you have to prepare yourself, I imagine, for dealing with loss. I've had a lot of loss in my family, people very, very close to me. And I have lost my father, the one that I'm talking about right now. And it can be so many things, so many triggers can come and remind you of the person, and times of the year, songs on the radio. Sometimes I can see people walking who walk like my dad used to walk, and it just sends me somewhere, and makes me very sad. I really work to focus on remembering the good and the love that they showed me, the things that they imparted in me, and try to honor those things. And I allow myself to cry. I allow myself to feel the hurt and the pain. And then I, re-emerge from that. I try not to stay in that position, in that situation, so that I can move forward in life. But allow yourself to grieve, Eve. Allow yourself to grieve, and ask people, if you know that time is coming, you need to take some alone time. Take some alone time. Don't be afraid to take the alone time, and let people know what's going on. Let people know that this is a difficult time for you, so that people don't put expectations on you, especially coming up in the holidays, so that people don't put expectations on you that they don't realize why you're not responding or reacting the way that you should. Okay. So let people know. I'm going to go back and just make sure I didn't miss anyone. Miss Lovely. Good deal. Let's see, understanding love language is so important because everyone does not say it. Yes. Some show it through acts of kindness. Yeah. And that is part of the reason I love that book, where it says, where they talk about the different love languages, because it gave people a language. It put words to what we couldn't be able to say. Like I didn't know that acts of service was a love language, or that gifts was a love language. We think if they're not saying I love you, that they don't love us. So it is wonderful to learn. If you haven't read that book, read it and learn about some of the different ways that people show love, and then come to find out, and because you may come to find out that people love you more than you ever knew they did. And that was the one thing that I came to learn about my dad, was just how much he loved me. And so as I got older, but because I was too young at the time to see it and understand it the way he was given it, I struggled to accept it when I was younger. So yeah, if you can take the time to learn the love languages and find out how people show love, sometimes that helps to ease the anger or the resentment or the struggle to receive how they love. And then don't be afraid to ask people, hey, I know that this is your love language, but this is my love language. And I want to know if you would be willing to show me some more of the love, the way I like to receive it. I appreciate what you do for me. I appreciate that you do those things that make you feel like you're loving on me. And I accept that love, but I would also like for you to show me love the way I like to receive it, the hugs, the kisses, the I love yous, the whatever it is that you like, the gifts or whatever it is for you, and ask if they would be willing to incorporate some of that into your relationship so that you all can both be loving on each other, the way the way you all like to receive it. Let's see. My mom says she loves me, but sometimes it's hard for me to know if she's serious or not. But my real birth father abandoned me when I was a newborn baby, and he was never there for me when I was 22. Oh yeah, that is tough. So it's hard for you to know if your mother is serious or not when she's telling you that she loves you. So what is it that she's doing, or what is it that you're not understanding or able to receive? She tells you, is she doing something different than is she is something happening where she's doing something different? She's telling you she loves you, but doing some other things that make you think that she doesn't. Tell me a little bit why you're not able to trust the words that are coming out of her mouth. Okay, when she tells you that she loves you. And I'll come back through the chat and look for that. Let's see. I finally met up with him. He's so much like me, and we get each other, but knowing he hurt me made me feel insecure inside out. Ooh, let's see. Miss Lovely. And here's something that is really important for those of you who may be single moms or have children you're not with the father, or vice versa if you're not with the mother. This is really important. I grew up, I have a father and I have a stepfather. And keep the relationship, as much as, no matter what's going on between you and the father or you and the mother, whatever the situation is, no matter what the situation is, keep the relationship open. Try as much as possible not to intervene in the life of the child and the parent. I know we want to protect. I'm not saying don't protect your children, right, from hurt and pain. We do want to protect them, but allow them the opportunity to get to know their parent on the level that's, appropriate. Keep the door open. Don't completely shut them out. I had a father. My father was very abusive to my mother in their younger years. And so they separated when she was carrying me. And I've had this conversation with her, and she knows I'm speaking about this. When she was carrying me. So, and she very easily could have completely said, no, you have zero access to these children. But she didn't. She kept the situation between, her and him to themselves. And then she allowed us, my brother and I, to develop our own relationship with our father. And gave us the opportunity to get to know him for ourselves. She did not intervene as far as, speaking negatively about him, speaking ugly about him, and different things such as that. She always kept the relationship open for us to be able to get to know him on whatever level. Did we experience some hurts? Absolutely. Did we go through some struggles with him? Absolutely. Did he ever hurt us physically? No, there was none of that. And if you're concerned about that, that's a different situation. But if if you feel like the parent can love the child, make sure that you allow them that opportunity to develop their own relationship with their parent. Okay. So Miss Lovely, I'm happy that you got the opportunity to know your father, because I had the opportunity to get to know my father, and I got to learn and develop for myself my own opinions, shape my own thoughts about who he was, and shape my own thoughts about who I was through him. Like, there were things in him, even though I wasn't raised with him, I didn't know him, I still got to know a lot about who I was and learn some things about myself through him being my father as well. So I'm happy. And I ended up even having to move him in the house with me, believe it or not, for many years. And so I'm not for many years, but for a season, for an extended period of time, a couple of months. And so I was very happy that my mother allowed us to have that relationship, because when it did come to the time where I had to bring him in and take care of him for a little while, I was able to do it. And we got along fine. And it was a very rich, quick time in my life. But I was so appreciative for the things that I got to learn about him. And they weren't all good things. But I appreciated those so much, the things that I got to learn about him, and how I got to know about him that I would not have been able to have known had my mother severed the relationship. So I say that for those of you all who maybe have this situation or a similar situation, to keep those lines of communication open between the parent and the child, if possible, as long as there's not a safety concern. Okay. Let's see, who was around you with your mom that you trust? Let's see. Hey, cousin Curtis, how are you? Much respect for sharing that personal part of your life. Yes, I hope that you all will, have the opportunity to get to know me, as I go through these lives. So I want you all to get to know me. I want to be able to share some life experiences with you on a level that's appropriate, and as long as I don't hurt any people in my life. But I'm very careful about how I share things. Let's see. Just joined my family. Awesome. Happy. I'm so glad. Let's celebrate. Trap Vision is now a part of our family. So thank you. This is a must. Yes, there are people that will need to hear this. Yes. Let's see. My mom had me and my brother, but I always felt like my mom loved my brother more, or had love for whoever, or even most family members, but me. And my mom always fell out, but she never asked me. What? I think I'm misunderstanding a little bit of part of that. But I do understand the part where you say you feel like our parents love a sibling more than they love the other. How many of us have felt that? For those of you all who have siblings, right? That we have a parent that loves the other sibling more than us. I don't know if there is a person that has a sibling that at some point in their life doesn't feel like that our parent would love the other child more than us. I fully understand that. I still feel that way to this day sometimes, right? That my mother loves my brother more than me, or that my dad loved me and he feels like my dad loved me more than him, and vice versa. So that is very common. And what we have to realize is that our parents love us differently. I don't feel like they love us any less. The truth is, now that I am a parent, and I have a little different insight now, that our parents don't love necessarily one more than the other. I think they have to learn to love us differently, because even though we're brothers or sisters or whatever the relationship is, we all need to be loved differently. And the things that my brother needs are not the things that I need. And the things that I need are not the things that my brother needs. So my mother, who is the only one left now for us, has to love on us differently. She shows us love differently. But because she doesn't show me love the way she shows him, sometimes I think she doesn't love me as much. But it's because I don't require the same type of love that he requires. And then the same thing with him, because she loves on me differently, in a different way than she loves on him, he feels like she loves me more, so I'm sure, and we go back and forth, we can go back and forth easily about how, who loves who more. But the truth is that she loves us the same. She just loves us differently. And so because it looks different, it makes us think, oh, well, you don't do that to me, so you must not love me the same, which is just not the truth. But once you develop children, once you have kids, or once you, or just even talk to your parent, even if you don't have kids, it's okay. Talk to your parent and realize that basically our parents and we as parents have to try to love on us the way that we need to be able to receive the love. So I quit trying to compare the love that my brother was receiving to the love that I was receiving, because at the end of the day, truth be told, I love the way my mother loves on me. I love how she talks to me. I love how she treats me. I love how she is there for me in the ways that I need her to be. And even though it doesn't look not even close to the same of what she does for my brother, I don't feel any less loved. I don't feel any less love. I just feel loved differently. So try to keep that in mind with your parents when you all feel like they don't love me like they love this one. They don't. They don't love you like they love that one, because that one requires a different kind of love. And so they have to give what that one needs So just wanted to share that with you all. Let's see. Let's see. I felt how, let's see, let me read this before I say it out loud because I don't want to read it wrong. Let's see. I felt how do I feel mentally, emotionally, what I felt meeting my birth father for the first time, and sometimes I did, but other times I didn't. Okay. So sometimes you were happy meeting him and sometimes you weren't. Am I understanding that correctly? Maybe you experienced some different emotions meeting him. I can imagine that, not having a parent in your life full time, every time we have an experience with them, we can feel differently about how we feel about them. Sometimes I would see my dad and I'd be excited and happy, and other times I see him, I'd be annoyed and irritated, so I can, and it's okay to feel the different emotions, talk with them, talk through them. Just don't be afraid to share what you're feeling, because you might be amazed how our parents are willing to talk to us about the things that we're struggling with, or whoever it is that you're having a struggle with. If it's not a parent, if it's a friend, if it's a family member, if it's a spouse, talk to that spouse, talk to that person about how you're feeling, and because you might be amazed um, at how they're feeling and what they're thinking. We make a lot of assumptions when it comes to communication, and that tends to be a downfall when we make too many assumptions about what we think people are thinking and what we think people are feeling, because because sometimes people don't express themselves very well, or they think that they're expressing themselves very well and they're not, because we're not receiving it the way we probably should. So that's why it's always good to keep the lines of communication open, uh, so that we can not make assumptions about what we think people are feeling. Okay. Uh, Agreed. Okay. Family welcome. Okay, let me jump down here. Let's see. I make sure that I do not show any of my children favoritism. Love all three of them. Yeah. And that's hard. It's hard to do as a parent. It's hard to do as a parent to not show favoritism. Let's see. My dad passed away last year. So by him being gone, it's like he doesn't acknowledge me or see me, but I know he loves me. Yeah, loves me. Yes, but no, not at the same time. Um, yes, she loves you. I'm sure your mom loves you. You may need to talk with her, Miss Lovely, about um, needing to hear it from her. You may need to talk with her and say, Mom, I know that you love me. I know that you have these things going on, but I need to hear it from you sometimes, and I say that even to my spouse. I say that even to my friends, different people, like, hey, what's going on? I haven't felt any love from you lately. What's going on here? I'm feeling a little, deprived. So let your mom know. Let your mom know what you're needing, what you're feeling. You're missing your dad, or you're feeling emotional about this, and just ask for a hug. Don't be afraid to ask people for what you need. I need a hug. I need a kiss. I need some affection. I need you to tell me. I need to hear some words, your words of affection, so that we can. So we can get the things that we need. Voice what you need. Don't feel like people should just know, right? We make that assumption. Well, they should just know. Like, we're married, or we're together, or we're family, or I'm her child, or I'm his child. They should just know, but they don't. They don't. People literally think that they're loving on us the way that we need to be loved. And sometimes they're not. We're not receiving it. We're not receiving it. But if you would just let them know, they would be willing. You'd be surprised how willing they are to make some change and to put forth some effort to love on you the way that we need to receive the love. Let's see. Personally, I don't like that question, because as a parent, equal gesture between the children, because to me, it is equal because you do the same thing for one as you do for the other, as my mom myself. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Vernell, do you do the same for all of your children? Do you try to do the same for all of your children? Do your children feel like you don't love them the same, or do they accuse you of not loving them the same? I'm just curious. So answer that a little further down for me. Let's see. Hey, sis. Hey, Cindy. How you doing? Glad you're here. Let's see. Here's the cat. She recently lost her mother too, which is my grandma. But when she lost both of them, I tried to hold her. I was there to hold her. I tried to hold her because I was there. Hold her close, and I'm there for her. But it seems like she's more. So it sounds like your mother is going through some things as well. So because your mother is going through some things, maybe she's having a hard time loving on you and showing you love. When people lose people, it is very difficult to place expectations on them. Um, and it's one of the biggest things that we probably should not do is place expectations on people who have recently had loss, because everyone grieves differently. Everyone struggles with death and accepting death differently. And so it is very, the best thing we can do is give people time, give people opportunity, let people know that we're there, let people know that, we're available if they want to talk, if they want hugs, ask them what they need. What can I do for you? That will ease what you're feeling or whatever it is. We have to be able to talk with them and not place expectations on them, because they're not. And people struggle with death so differently. I'm telling you, some people it can take years. Some people months. Some people it comes, dealing with the death comes in cycles. Maybe you have seasons and different things. So be careful with when you know that someone has lost someone. And that's why it's so important to talk with them. Hey, what's going on? How are you feeling? I'm noticing this. I'm sensing this. What are you struggling with something? Is this a time in life? Is this season a period of something that reminds you of something that has happened in your life? We never know what people are going through. And that's why expectations are so challenging to put on people. It's so challenging to put on people. So especially around holidays, Mother's Day and Father's Day and holidays that trigger the loss of people that they love. So we always need to be extra sensitive around those times of the year. Let's see. Distant. They're distant. Yeah, and that's a very common thing that when people lose people that they're going to be distant. They're going to be distant for a while because they're trying to process through the grief. They're trying to process the pain. They're trying to process the experiences that they've had with the person who they loved. Grief takes you through all kinds of emotions. You start thinking about the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, and all so many things that grief takes you through. And that's why we have to ask people, are you okay? Are you dealing with something? Is something, stressing you out? Whatever it is, we have to try to communicate. Let's see, people, you got to remember your parents were children too. Yes. They want to keep hitting until you ask. Okay. I was trying to understand that. I understand the first part, but the second part I was kind of losing a little bit. But yes, our parents were children also. Our parents are human too. Our parents don't have all the answers and they don't have all the answers and they didn't do everything right. We as children absolutely think that our parents should know what to do, should do everything right. And we don't realize that they are imperfect humans just like we are. And we don't even give them room to make mistakes. And that can be a challenge for a relationship when we feel like our parents should do this and do that, because we're too young to understand at the time that our parents are going through life and learning and having their own life experiences and their own struggles as well. So we get upset and angry when they don't do things, when they don't say things, when they don't respond to things the way we think they ought to respond. So we have to be careful about placing judgment on our parents for not doing the things that we think that they should be doing. We have to talk with them. We have to be willing to talk with them about what it is that we're feeling, try to find out what it is going through their mind, as much as they're willing to share, to try to improve the lines of communication. Because we make so many assumptions and we get so angry about what our parents are doing or not doing, or saying or not saying. Let's see. Different ways of showing me they care. I can't talk with me. Thank you for your help. You're so welcome. And I'm happy that you have your mother, and I'm happy that you're grateful for her. Yes, and they may show you love very differently, but just realize that just because they show it differently doesn't mean that they love you less. Okay. Hey, Nell, how are you doing? Good to see you. I have 2 children who had love languages were very difficult for me and felt very unloved. I really tried. Yeah, so they had different love languages from you. Yeah, I can imagine that would be very difficult. We do our best. And this is what I say. Do your best, let God do the rest. Where I cannot be, no one in life can be our everything. Our spouses, our parents, our children, our friends, they weren't designed to be our everything. God is the one that we have to look to depend on. He is there to fill in all the spaces that we are missing: love, affection, whatever it is that we're missing. He is there to fill those spaces. If people could be everything that we needed them to be, then we would not need him. And that's not how he designed us. He designed us to be imperfect so that we would seek him, so that we would come to know him and build a relationship with him, so that he could learn, so that we can learn that he is our everything. Everyone else here on earth is just icing on the cake, really. He is the root and the center of everything that we need in our life. And for those of you who may not know him, who may not have accepted him, who are resistant to that, you're going to forever have holes in your life, because he designed us, he created us to be dependent on him. And so when we look to people, when we look to, imperfect humans to be our everything, they're gonna fall short every time. They're gonna fall short every time because they don't possess all that we need. He knows us, he created us, he shaped us, he knows the hairs on our head, he knows everything about us. He knows what we need. And all we have to do is seek him, ask him, and he will provide that for us. But we have to be willing to just go to him and ask, because he can do everything above and beyond what we can ever imagine to do, and fulfill the things that we need. Let's see. Yes, I do the same thing. I don't change original, although they have different needs. I tell them that this is not appropriate for you. This sister nice, but I don't make a difference. Okay, good for you. Good for you not making a difference and letting them know what is appropriate and what's not appropriate, because they will require different things. We do what's appropriate for each child. And it's good that you let them know that. Let's see, so how do I show myself love? How do I receive love? How do I tell myself what I have felt for years as a little girl? How will I be okay? Ooh, my goodness, Miss Lovely. You show yourself love. You show yourself love by speaking good words, by speaking kind words to yourself. You hear that term, affirmations, all the time. You show yourself love by speaking good to your life, by not downing yourself. We wake up every morning looking at our faults and looking at the faults of others. And next week, I'm going to be talking about kindness. That's one of my classes for next week. So if you can catch that class or the replay of it. So we start with being good to ourselves. Speaking kind, wake up in the morning. You're beautiful. You're smart. You're kind. You are loving. You are enough. Everything that is in you is perfect. We are beautifully and wonderfully made in the very image of God. And he made no mistake when he made us. And so we have to speak to those things, those good things in our life. And the more we speak good to ourselves, the more we will not allow others to speak bad to us. And we will require them to speak good to us as well. If I don't talk crazy to myself, I'm not going to let anyone else talk crazy to me. So you have to know that you are worthy, know that you are worth being loved simply by your very presence on this earth. You were not a mistake in being here. So just your very presence should let you know that you're worthy of being here, that you have purpose, that God had intention for you when he created you. And so you have to speak those good things to yourself. And then surround yourself. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who are also pouring love and kindness and good into you. If you have people who are being negative to you, if you're surrounded by people who are telling you that you're not enough, that you're this, that you're that, you're not this, or you're not that, remove those people from your life whenever possible. Okay. Because you want to surround yourself with people who are pouring good into you as much as possible. Change those people in your life that are not pouring positivity and love and kindness into you, because that also helps. When we're trying to, be good, and then we have people who are constantly being negative around us, we're going to struggle to fight that, to combat that. So surround yourself with people who are being kind and loving and who speak well. So that also helps to build our confidence and our worthiness. Let's see. The love language test book. Yeah, that love language book is great. Let's see. Our parents did the best they could with what they had at the time. Absolutely. You're so right about that. Let's see. From September until February is the hardest for me because I lost my dad in March of 2007, and those months are hard for me. Yes, I can imagine. You can find the love language test online. Thank you. That's great. Thank you, No Court. I appreciate that. Hey, Janine, how are you doing, sister? How you doing? Love you much. Love you much. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy this is helping you. I tried to get that because I was so frustrated about some of the issues I had developed from the way I was raised. Yeah, we all have struggles. We all have struggles with dealing with how we were raised, issues that we were raised. I'm telling you, everything that we experience as a child affects us as an adult. Everything. Let's see. One needed expensive gifts, the other words of praise, but I didn't have the cash, and she was nonverbal and could not tell me. Oh, wow. Yeah, I can imagine. No, that is very difficult. I'm glad you understand that. Let's see. He can do anything but fail. Absolutely. He can do anything but fail. You're right. The positive pusher. I did learn to love properly until I fell in love with Jesus. Yeah. I always challenge people. I say that you cannot possibly, for people who don't know God, don't know the love of Christ, you cannot possibly fully know and understand what love is until you come to know him. I promise you, it will increase your take you to a whole nother level of understanding, appreciation of what love is. Because God is love. He created love. He is all that love is. So there's so much that you're missing about what love is if you don't know him. So be willing to open your mind and your heart to that. It's Leo. Leo? Is it Leo? It's Leo. What if you're surrounded by a toxic family? Yeah, that can be very difficult to be, because I know that there are people who are surrounded by toxic families. When you're surrounded by a toxic family, and if you're young, I don't know how young you are, if you're very young, there's very little you can do to surround yourself, to remove yourself from a toxic family. When you're away from your family, try to surround yourself with people, like I say, who are pouring into you. If you're an older person, try to limit the time that you have around these toxic family members. I've had some toxic family members in my life. Some of them are no longer living, but I've had some toxic family members, and I absolutely had to limit my time around them. And even if we were in the same space together, I would be in a different area of the room. Like if we were at a function, a family function or something like that, because I knew that everything coming out of their mouth was going to be negative or going to make me feel a certain kind of way. And so I had to limit my time and my vicinity, away from those toxic family members. But if you're a child, and like I said, I don't know how old you are, that can be very difficult to do. But when you're young, again, if you have other people in your life, school people or church people or different, if you're any kind of different organizations or sports or band or whatever it is, find good people and get to know them and spend as much time with those good people as possible, because they will pour good into you. Hey, Minister of Music, Terrence, how are you? Good to see you. I might be way behind on the chat. I'm trying to catch up here. Be you, beautiful one. How are you? Good to see you. Self-love is so important to your well-being. Absolutely. Everyone's saying hi. Hi, Sydney Hiri. How are you doing? Let's see. Thanks for being an inspiration, and you look amazing, like an ebony honey queen. Oh my, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Love you too. Thank you for your words of wisdom. Hey, Mike 2.0. I'm glad you're here. Boss Life Online. What's up? How are you? Good to see you. I saw your live. I saw you on doing the whatchamacallit with living your best life. That was really good. You did a great job there. Burns, everyone. Let's see, Vernell. Let's see. God's treasure and God don't make no mess. Talk to yourself in the mirror every morning. I have pretty eyes. I'm a kind person. Absolutely. All those words of affirmation. Speak good to yourself. Let's see. I have a really great memory. When as a child, I was being hurt by someone, a voice inside me was thinking, why are you doing this to me? I am God's child. It's lovely with all, let's see. It's lovely with all the bad I have. I have that. Yeah, it can be difficult. I mean, I definitely remember things, hurtful things that people said to me as a child, all the way down to the second grade. I mean, I remember something my second grade teacher to this day said to me when I was 8 years old that completely shaped my entire life. So for sure, even though we still carry those things with us. I believe those things tend to become purposed in our lives after a while. Those things that we never forget, those things that those hurtful words that we never forget, right? People say things to us, they land and they bury themselves into the crevices of our mind and in our heart, and they stick with us forever. And I thank God that even though I remember those things that teacher said to me at the time, I didn't let it shape who I was as a person or how I saw myself. It definitely, she definitely said something to me that could have turned my life or make me feel less than, unworthy, but it did not. I did not allow that those words that she spoke to me to change how I felt about myself. And in fact, it ended up taking me into a whole different route to prove to her differently that I was worthy, that I was enough, that I was beautiful, all these things. And now I use that. It becomes fuel for me now. It becomes fuel for me rather than allowing those things to, take over and make me feel bad about who I am. So for sure, let's see. Much love, blessings, and peace to your loved ones. Absolutely. Let's see. Blessings to you and your loved ones. Good. Everyone's still speaking. Shout out and good luck in all you do. Okay, awesome. Good deal. I'm glad everyone's speaking to each other. I finally got caught up. All right, good. Anything else? Do y'all have any questions for me? Things y'all want to know about me, or it's great to have that skill. Yeah, it's a skill. It takes time. It takes practice now. It's not something that came to me overnight. I definitely struggled as a child through it for many years, like combating that, having to, combat those things that were spoken to me when I was really, really little by this particular teacher. So it definitely took me getting older. That was not something that happened for me overnight. So don't think that it did. But I struggled with it for many years until I got older and came to know and also was able to prove to myself differently, prove to myself differently. What we speak in our lives, the more we rise up to those things, right? If we say that we're going to do something, and we do that thing that we say we're going to do, no matter how small it is, the more we begin to trust ourselves, the more we begin to trust our own words, even more so than the people around us, When we can say something and we live up to that thing that we say we're going to do, or, those our own words become more powerful than the words of others. So that's why it's so important to speak good things to yourself, to put good things in your heart and your mind. And the more of God's word we can pour into our soul, the more we realize just how awesome we are. And no one will be able to convince us otherwise. No one will be able to convince us otherwise, because we know who we are. We know whose we are. We know what we were meant for. We know what we're purposed for. And so it becomes very difficult for people outside to convince us of anything otherwise. So, yeah. Let's see, the power of life and death absolutely is in the tongue. My question is, how do we show compassion to those who show none to us and others? Yeah, that can be challenging, because we definitely meet people in life who have zero compassion for anything. So how do we show those? How do we show compassion? When I have someone in front of me who I could easily feel like does not even deserve for me to even probably be in their presence, but I'm here, they're here in front of me, and I have to speak to them. I have to remove who they are, right? There's this negativity, this evil person in front of me. I'll just say evil person in front of me. And I have to tell myself, God created this person, God created this person. And no matter how they are right now, how they're presenting themselves to me right now, God created this person differently. And he made no mistake when he created this person. And even though this person is speaking negatively to me, I'm going to speak to the person that in them that God created them to be. I act like I don't even see that evil spirit inside of them, because I know that if they were here, they are purposed, and that they were not always the way they are. And so I speak to the person that in them, that who God created them to be. And then I can change how I conversate with them. So the things that they say to me become non-important. They become unimportant. I don't take them so personally, because I know that they weren't always that way. And if we speak to people, if we speak to things as though they are, then eventually over time, they will rise to who we say them to be. They will rise to that person. So that's why I try to speak to people when they're talking negatively to me. And I, like, what's that saying? When they go low, we go high, or kill them with kindness, all these types of things. That stuff really does make an impact on people. And I know this because there's been many times where people, like, I'll have a negative person in my life. Let's say somebody I work with, and they were just always saying something ugly. And I just never allowed it to change the way I treated them. And I can't even tell you how many times over time they would come back to me and say, you know what? I know that I treated you this way, and you, of all the ways that I treated you, you never, you know, said, came back at me this way. You never spoke ugly to me, and I know that I treated you wrong. And they will apologize, but it is not easy. It's not easy, and there are definitely times where I have to woosah myself back into my own spirit because they have challenged me so much, you know. But as long as, but I can't tell you, but because I've been able to do that just a few times, I know that it is effective. I know that it is effective. Speak to the person inside of them, who they used to be, and not who they are presenting themselves to you. Because I know that it makes change. It makes a difference over time, and people will come to realize, you saw something in me that I couldn't even see in myself. We don't know what people are going through. We don't know what people are dealing with, what they're struggling with. So we have to try to give grace. We have to give grace the way God has graced us. Let's see. All right. Good night in chat. Night. Much blessings. Good. Let's see. You have to show regardless. Yes, it could be a test from God. It can be a test from God, or you could be the very person to be the change for them. You could be the very person that they've sent to you to minister to them. Okay. So we have to do it even when they don't deserve it. Absolutely. Don't let the way someone treats you change your character. Sometimes you are the only Jesus someone sees. That is exactly right. That is exactly right. That does make sense. I know this is a test for me. I will definitely try that because the anger is affecting me. Yes, the anger. Get past the anger. Know that it's a test because I'm failing. I know God will continue to give me the test until I pass it. You're right. You're right. He will do that. Remember that they are God's child. Talk to them as they are. Yes. Just like the anger is infectious, so is a positive and kind attitude. It is. It really is. It is. All right, guys, it's 9:31. I'm going to end this live. It was great. I hope that you all learned some things about me. I got to learn some things about you all. I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate the things that you shared. If y'all want to do this again, we absolutely can. Let me know if y'all want to do something like this again, and we can do that. All right. So you all have a beautiful night. I'm going to say a quick prayer and then we're going to head out. All right. Father, I just come thanking you for this day. I thank you for who you are. I thank you for the love, the grace, and the mercy that you show us, even when we are undeserving. Father, we don't always know the intentions. We don't know the purpose. We don't know why people say the things that they do the things that they do. But Father, we can't control anyone but ourselves. And Lord, I just ask that you move on us, move on our mouths, move on our spirits. Help us to not let people affect us negatively so that we get out of your character. We get out of who you created to be. The enemy is always busy working against us, trying to get us to get out of character, to move away, to ruin our witness, Lord. But help us to stay focused. Help us to remember that we were undeserving. We were undeserving of your kindness and your love, and yet you showed it to us anyway. You came down, you died for us, and you gave us the opportunity to live and be in eternity with you. So, Father, if you can show us such grace when we are undeserving, allow us to be able to show that same love and grace to others when they are undeserving. Father, I just thank you. Bless each and every person in this chat tonight with their struggles, the things that they're struggling in their communication with. Open their minds, open their hearts. Allow us to forgive. Help us to show grace and mercy and kindness and love. Father, these things I ask in your son, Jesus' name. Amen. Hey, Cousin Paul, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. A software wrath is a good thing. What do you do when somebody don't understand God's language, and they do God's action? They don't understand God's language. If they don't understand God's language, the language of love is universal. I don't care who you are. Speak love. Speak love to people, and it will always resonate within their spirit and their mind. So if they don't receive God, if they don't understand that, speak his love to them, speak his loving words to them, and they will come to release those barriers and open up and talk to you. Okay. All right. I hope that helps. I will see you all. Monday is class in the morning, and we're going to be talking about insecurities. This is the letter I. So we're doing insecurities. So 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. For those of you who are available, if not, catch the replay. We'll be talking about how our insecurities affect the way we communicate. All right. Y'all have a beautiful night. Thank you. I love you all. And go forth and be the light. Okay. Bye.